Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I have a huge crochet Amazon haul. I have been picking up a couple different things and I figured I would go ahead and show you guys in a video. So let's get into it. I'll bring you in. So I picked up a huge box of stitch markers, and hopefully I will never need any more, but we know that's never the case because I feel like I did buy something else and it was a different type of stitch marker, but it's like, yeah, this is the last one that I'll need. That's not true. I love these stitch markers because I actually line them up with my crochet hook. So sometimes they don't line up with every single hook color that I have, but I try to make note of the hooks that I'm using and kind of leave them with the project, but I do like to line up my color hooks with the hook that I'm actually using. I got a whole bunch of safety eyes. I'm gonna go over this one first. This is actually my newest set of safety eyes, and I don't like how this is literally only on one side because I just have to hope that I know what's in here, and to be honest, I'll probably just maybe flip it up like when I'm not actually using it, but I have it this way so I actually know the sizes that I'm using. But actually I'm probably gonna flip it the other way. So we have the 18, 20, 24, 30 millimeter, and they have these little protective guys on the larger ones, but I noticed they're not on the smaller ones. So keep that in mind if you are like rough with your cases. I usually just have this sitting in a drawer, so I don't really have to worry about them scratching unless they come scratched, but I picked this up and this wasn't too expensive either. I really needed some large safety eyes because I did that large turtle by Gina. I think that's who released that like free pattern, and so I needed some larger eyes, but I've already used some of these as well, so needless to say, it is a win-win for me because you can literally never have enough safety eyes. Because speaking of, we have more safety eyes. Now this box came really beat up. I probably could have contacted the company, but like this was cracked and then this was cracked, but the eyes were fine. And again, like I said, they'd kind of just sit in a drawer. However, if I tip this over, that might be a bad day, but they come with a bunch of different sizes. I believe this goes to 12. I might be mistaken, but you have the eyes that are black, then you have some of the noses, and then you have colored, of course I could grab the clear ones. You have colored ones as well. Looks like that needs to be broken off, but you do have some colored ones. Kind of, that's supposed to be brown, right? Is that brown? Yeah, brown. And then you got your blue, and then you've got your red, like pinky red. And then you have clear, and a really quick tip is if you have gel polish, you can, you know, color it under there. I did that with actually a, one for my mother, so that was fun. Like I said, you can never have enough safety eyes. So the reason this is in a Ziploc bag is because they came in these types of bags that like you open but you can't reseal. And since this was kind of like a set, I haven't gone through, and what I'm gonna do is literally probably just make them all, meaning the little pad that you get with these, you just kind of stick it on. And then this has a protective film over it, but you can see that that now becomes a green eye. So I might just go ahead and like kind of slip these on all of them and then put these in a better container. But I wanted to have all of these together so I can kind of see the different sizes that I have. And so like these are the really big ones, like huge. Bigger than I think even the 30 millimeter black ones that I have, or maybe they're the same, but these are just colored. And then you just add your little colored piece under it. So I'm not quite sure the sizes of these, but they have a bunch of different ones, and I'll just make sure to link them down below. So yeah, I just keep it in that plastic bag until I get a better organization for my safety eyes. Because clearly I'm accumulating a lot. So this is one of the cheaper bags of safety eyes. Like, they're not organized at all. Some of them have the protective film on it, but you get a ton of them. And the ones I have used, I've actually had pretty good success with them. And then they come again with all your different colors. So I will have to organize these out, but they're thicker. So I probably should have grabbed a different one. So not sure if you can tell that ledge. Like, most of the safety eyes don't have that huge thick edge. It's significantly smaller. Let me kind of just peel that back. So not sure if you can tell. So here are two different safety eyes. You can see this kind of domes and then has that edge. This one domes, but it has a super thick edge here. So they're just two different kind of looks for your safety eyes. You'll obviously figure out which one works for you best. I kind of prefer the ones that are just more domed than that straight edge dome. But again, trial and error. Again, I will be adding these to a bigger container because there's no way this is going to stay like this, because that's going to drive me bonkers. And then these were a part of this. I forgot to state that. So you're probably like, oh yeah, where are the backings? It came in a little separate bag for these. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Next up, I picked up some of these compression gloves. So I was doing a bunch of different products, and I was doing a bunch of different plushies and kind of just doing my thing. And I work at a computer. I used to make jewelry. I do nails. So I literally am always using my hands, and I get really bad carpal tunnel flare-ups, and I'm hoping this will kind of help prevent that. So they're just these little gloves. I haven't worn them yet. That you just slip on, and then they have your fingers come out. I guess I can slip it on. Like so. So it just kind of keeps your hand a little bit more compressed. I do have like a brace that I wear that kind of like grabs my thumb if I have a really bad flare up, but I cannot crochet in that to save my life. So needless to say, I want something that I can crochet in, but that's also not going to be restrictive, even though literally like that's the point, you're turning your hand too much. So we're gonna try these out. So I got them in a size large, and I have decently large hands. The reason I actually used to make jewelry is because I have really big hands, so I could never wear like really pretty rings that like all the girls had. So I started making my own, soldering like the whole 9 yards. So that is why I picked up these, so I can continue to use my hands. As if we didn't have enough of the stitch markers. So I also do big plushies, but I do small, kind of more, how do I say it? I guess they're still kind of amigurumi, but it's like, can you tell I'm newer at crocheting because I don't know all the terminology? But like, here is one of the smaller projects I kind of label in here. So I have a 1.75 hook. Like, look at how tiny these are. And I did use a larger, I don't know if it's gonna show up. I did use a large hook for like one row and I was like, no, that can't go. Not hook, stitch marker, because these are significantly larger than these guys. So this is perfect to literally just slide in that tiny little hole. You could use a clothespin, of course you could. I would have to buy clothespins. I'm a millennial. Who has clothespins and is a millennial? Who's 34 and has a clothespin? Like a, yeah, clothespin. We don't get dry cleaning. You don't get like the bags that are like hung up with the little clothespin. Yeah, I don't know any millennial who has a clothespin. So I bought some. Next up, I got these sewing needles. I did get a starter Amazon pack of like my crochet items and it did come with some, but I love the angled, angle sewing. So like literally when you're going through your project, it just makes it so much easier to have these angled. And I have just normal ones that are straight that in the kit I got, and I can link the little kit I got below. I think it was like $30 maybe, and it gave like a whole bunch of different things. But I do end up liking these angled ones more. I do still use the other ones, but overall I like these ones better. Then I got some fabric glue. So this is, let me get this open. So this is what I'm gonna use for safety eyes that are super small, and I'm using a higher weight yarn. So if it's a fluffier yarn and then some of my smaller eyes like look good in it, like if I'm doing like octos or tiny bees and I want really small eyes or even smaller eyes depending, that's not gonna work. They're just gonna slip right out. So I am going to try this out along with the safety eyes, and I haven't decided if I want to try like adding a backing to them like in between to keep them on. But I've heard really good things about this, so I definitely wanted to try this. I think it was like $6, and I guess you get 3 bottles. And this wouldn't be a haul without some hooks. Already used one of these. They're awesome. They're not quite as big as I would like because some of the ones I use are very tiny, but I just needed some larger hooks. Again, for my carpal tunnel, these are helping a lot, but if you're looking for like something super big, this is not gonna be it. But if you're comparing it to a normal like needle that is super, super tiny, if you're comparing it to a crochet hook that is super, super tiny, these are great, and they just slide so smooth. I've had nothing but success for them. The only thing I will mention that these are longer than what I was used to. So when I first started using them and having it back here, which is the larger part of the hook, it was very weird to have this much room to do my work because I'm used to kind of having my hand super close and only having really that much hook to work with. So giving myself more room is just something I want to point out when switching from the other crochet hooks to a more aerodynamic. Last but not least, I got a 6-pack of these containers, and I keep a bunch of my different hooks in here. So these are my more used hooks, and you can see I have those needles in there that are just those simple ones. But I guess this is actually the perfect example of what I was talking about, that I was used to having my hook and my hand being so close, and now it's like literally twice the length. So that's what I was referring to when I was talking about the difference in the length. So I have these for like my most used ones, and you can tell I have those hooks in there that correspond with the one I am using. Thankfully, whichever brand these two are, both are 5 and they both are orange. So, and I think this is also 5 and it's orange. So some of them, you know, I may have lucked out on, but not all of them are like that for sure. But I do keep a box of my most used, my larger ones, my extras that aren't really that great in my opinion, and then some of my smaller ones and then micro ones. So I have a whole bunch of different ones and I just keep them in this little carrying case and then they stack on top. And I do plan on kind of labeling up here. And then if you're storing them like vertically or horizontally in your storage system, you can just label the size here too. But I love that they're clear and you're able to see what you're grabbing or looking for. I got so much stuff and I haven't even gotten my yarn in. So this is a slippery slope that I'm realizing, but I'm loving every minute of it. And I figured I would share this haul with you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up and subscribe and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.